How's it going, people? Jag here with another video here to check out the latest from the crew of Death Battle, who has a brand new one on vampires, or more specifically vampire slayers, because only one of them is considered to be a dampier. So yeah, that's the better qualification. This is Blade versus Buffy. And while I did not manage to catch the latest one, that was Ruby versus Marka Alban, unfortunately I didn't watch that. I would very much like to laugh a lot for my boy Blade, especially given how Marvel Rival has done him justice with the impeccable drip. As a fan of the old Buffy show, or at least the Buffyverse alongside his spin-off series with Angel, I so miss those days. There was like this one poster of like David Boreanaz and the rest of them, Joss Whedon with the entire crew of both series there as like an anniversary kind of thing. As a fan of that, okay, I cannot in good conscience say that Blade is going to win this one. Not because of fandom bias here, but because Buffy just has too much shit that can take him down. Like, I literally think that the only way that Blade is winning this one is if they are going to go with like the comic book thing of, not even a comic book. Yeah, he has gotten some pretty wild stuff in comic books, but recently there was a thing with Marvel Zombie where he became the avatar of Khonshu. Like, giving him damn close to celestial abilities could be a winning streak for him. But Buffy, in the comics and in her novels, is too fucking broken that I don't even know, okay? So we're just going to listen to what Death Battle has to say about this, and fingers crossed that this match is kind of fair. So without further ado, please do make sure to go and subscribe to the guys, and let's get into this one.
Yeah.
Bam.
Blade versus Buffy,
The Daywalker
Gotta
versus
crack
the
up a
Vampire Slayer.
He's
Drink
with his
here.
knife boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. They are known by many names.
Alucard.
Revenant, Vortalok, Nosferatu.
Vampires. When the moon is out and the night is young, these undead demons are out for blood.
Fitting then that the greatest foe of those who stalk the night is the one who can
Impeccable
walk the
drip.
day. Blade.
Is that really his costume?
Yeah.
Now there's a man who doesn't file his taxes. Blade is one of the coolest superheroes ever, and basically kickstarted the comic book movie craze.
And yet,
Yeah.
he is also seemingly the only one who knows or cares that in the world of Marvel, vampires exist.
Well, besides Spider-Man, wasn't like one of the very first issues of Spidey him being attacked by Dracula? Spidey knew. The spider and the bat.
Seriously, nobody talks about this.
Blade doesn't need anyone's help. He'll just aura farm by himself.
Even
Yeah, he
Blade's
does that a
birth
lot.
was hardcore. Just as the young Eric Brooks' mother was in labor, her attending doctor turned out to be the vampire Deacon Frost.
And he drank her blood right before she gave birth.
This infused
Infusing
Eric
him.
with Frost's vampiric blood, turning him half human, half vampire. A dampier.
Giving him a ton of vampy powers, but none of their weaknesses like garlic, holy water, or sunlight.
Eric would hone these abilities under the tutelage of vampire hunter Jamal Afari, sharpening
Yeah,
him into
who
a
died later.
blade that would rape the vampire plague for good.
Blade is strong and fast enough to toss around 1,000-pound demons and cut bullets out of the air. He can keep up with Wolverine, who can deflect Cyclops' light-speed optic blasts. And his Kevlar DuPont armor helped him take the top of Count Von Stott's castle exploding.
He can heal
Yeah.
small wounds immediately and sniff out the supernatural with his hypersenses. Also, his fangs can drain his victims
sold
of
it, yeah.
magical energies.
After studying the ways of Hong Kong Kung Fu movies, Blade became a master martial artist.
Love
Yes,
that.
the Rufus from Street Fighter School of Kung Fu.
While the only martial art he's been stated to know is
Shapeshift. Oh, no. Shapeshifting. That's the Dracula thing there. There's a point where Dracula gives him his blood and it allows him to do that. Which is so fucking weird. They have such a weird relationship. It's like him and the Punisher don't truly get along. Occasionally they get together to fight against the evil forces or whatever. with the one mediator in between them being Wolverine, the one who, funnily enough, Punisher shot in the dick. But him and Dracula kind of become friendly. Won't quite call them besties, but they definitely become friendly later on.
Of Magog, we know he's mastered more. So for the full scope of his martial arts ability, we'll examine the Blade movies as performed by Wesley Snipes.
Okay.
By looking at Snipes' training and choreography, we know Blade uses Kung Fu, Capoeira, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Eskrima, Kickboxing, Shotokan Karate, and Hapkido. Add on Blade's knack for stealthy takedowns, and I guess you could call him Marvel's Batman.
Blade's training progressed smoothly until Afari was attacked and had his blood drained by Dracula.
Himself,
Seriously,
yeah.
Avengers, Dracula is real. Why aren't you doing anything about this? He's right there.
Forced to murk his surrogate dad, Blade would have to wage his war alone.
Nursing a wound within him that would never heal. A hole that could never be filled.
Not with that attitude. Blade took a page out of the Book of Boomstick and tried filling that hole with every kind
So
of
much
weapon
weapon.
imaginable. He's got so many, they're his apartment decorations.
Handguns, assault rifles, and explosives make up the brunt of his firepower. And he enjoys getting up close and personal with his dual acid-etched titanium katanas.
Speaking of glorious Nippon steel,
Adamantium,
he's got
yeah.
a sword made out of adamantium.
Second adamantium.
Specifically, secondary adamantium.
Yeah.
A variant of the metal that is mass-producible.
It might not be quite as strong as Cap's shield, but it can cut right through heavy hitters like Ultron and the Hulk.
Naturally,
It's like him and Deadpool and so on are always competing in it. Who has the best sword?
Blade has even more swords. His Atlantean ones can slice through magical enchantments. The Word Sword can harm intangible demons. And the Justiciar can slay fallen angels.
Yeah, he's got some weird stuff he can pull out of his ass, like a
Some juju.
hellfire shotgun that burns your soul, or hypodermic needles filled with vampire blood. Seems kinda dumb to turn people into vampires, but it does make them more vulnerable to Blade's arsenal.
All that pales in comparison to the arch weapon of hell in Blade's
breathing
possession.
gun.
The breathing gun. It is a living firearm that hisses in the presence of demonic forces. Its sentient bullets chase its victims down. The wounds they cause cannot be healed. And if they get lodged in your body, they'll slowly devour you from the inside out. They can even hurt Hell Lords and even greater threats
yeah,
like
Cosmic
the
Ghost
Cosmic
Rider.
Ghost Rider.
Blade
Which, by the way, doesn't need to be said, but I'm gonna say it anyway, was a herald of Galactus. Like, what the fuck? That's the Punisher, by the way. Again, that weird relationship that they have with each other. God, what kind of bullet is that? The kind that puts holes in walking skeletons. Just tell me where you want the next one, pal. Yeah, this run was something.
He took everything he had and fought his one-man war for almost 100 years.
He's battled hordes of vampires while skydiving, infiltrated the Pentagon, and even took on Spider-Man like Miles Morales, who could absorb the energy of a bomb that could destroy Harlem. Blade's even bested the Spirit of Vengeance, Zarathos.
And while he
Yep.
occasionally allied with teams like the Avengers, he prefers to work alone.
I probably would too if they only cared about me when I was helping them and not ridding the world of, you know, vampires.
Dracula.
That, and Blade is scared of what he might do if he loses control, because he does have one classic vampire weakness.
Lust
a
for blood.
thirst for blood. Blah.
Even more so after he had a daughter, Brielle, whom he
Yeah.
avoided for fear of endangering her. If his bloodlust does overwhelm him, he will enter a berserker rage, skyrocketing his strength at the cost of his sanity.
Though it does make him even better at killing vamps. He's made a cottage industry out of whooping Dracula's ass.
Dracula is unsurprisingly powerful, capable of summoning a thunderstorm that covered all of Boston with a wave of his hand.
Drac apparently didn't hold a grudge though, since he eventually made Blade the sheriff of Vampirsk, a vampire nation in the ruins of Chernobyl.
Amazingly, Dracula has even given Blade some of his own blood, which allows him to shapeshift into multiple forms, like a wolf, a horde of bats, or a cloud of mist.
So he can force his way inside your body and blow you up from the inside out, Ant-Man style.
What is with you with the Ant-Man? Blade's
The
hatred of
Thanos.
vampires is only matched by his hatred of himself. However, when Brielle showed signs of vampiric powers, Blade finally found a reason to reconnect with his daughter. training her the same way Afari trained him a century prior.
Even after Blade was possessed by the first vampire ever and trying to take over the planet, Brielle put her dad's teachings to the test, saving both him and the world.
And proving that Blade's lonely war need not be so lonely anymore. With his daughter at his side, and also this plant creature pet called Boy Thing, let Marvel's vampires beware. For should they indulge their unnatural urges, they will be sure to meet their end at the tip of his blade.
Oh my god. I don't know how Wesley Snipes is going to feel about not reprising the role, but he was so iconic about it. Alright, now to Buffy.
Today's battle is sponsored by Prize Picks.
We're gonna skip this one slightly.
In every generation, there is a chosen one. She alone will stand against the vampires, the demons, and the forces of darkness.
Look at this. How can you not love the practical effects here and the costumes? I miss this so much.
Darkness. She is the Slayer.
For thousands
Buffy
of years, a
and
new Slayer would be
Summers.
granted incredible powers and was destined to die young in battle against evil, passing their powers on to the next Slayer, and the next, and so on. That is, until the newest Slayer would change everything. Buffy and Summers.
Not exactly the first girl you'd think is the savior of humanity. Buffy's only goals in life were, in her own words, graduate from high school, go to Europe, marry Christian Slater, and die.
But that would all change when the Watcher Merrick appeared and revealed her destiny.
Like, total bummer.
Merrick
Oh
trained
yeah, that's true. Buffy kind of died multiple times. She was resurrected in the Angel series. I can't remember if she died a few times in the comics or in the novels, but yeah.
Merrick trained Buffy in the arts of vampire slang, and she became so efficient that she burned down her school. Whoops.
Forcing her and her mom to move to Sunnydale, California to start a new life, far away from any more bloodsuckers and bad makeup.
Unfortunately,
Right.
small problem, Sunnydale just so happened to be right on top of a hellmouth, where the boundary between Earth and Hell is permeable.
Yeah, that sounds like the valley, all right. Along with new Watcher Giles, Wallflower
Giles.
Willow, part-time bad boy, part-time sad
Angel.
boy Angel, magical retcon sister Dawn, and Xander.
Fuck that guy.
Buffy and her Scooby Gang would battle a never-ending series of monsters.
And we mean truly never-ending. Sure, there's the TV show, but Buffy has also been slaying vampires across video games, comics, and 128 novels. Tens of thousands of pages of Buffy lore you've never heard of.
But we're just crazy enough to speed read them all.
Buffy carries a variety of anti-vampire weaponry. There's wooden stakes, of course, sometimes dipped in Gorgon venom that can
And then 130C. Rocket launcher. It sounds stupid to say out loud, but it has literally been used in the show.
turn you to stone. Though she's also experienced with axes, swords, quarterstaffs, holy water, just about anything.
You said it! When she fought an ancient demon unable to be killed by
Literally.
any weapon forged in his time, Buffy introduced his stupid ass to the 20th century.
She's also a master of Aikido, Judo, Jiu-Jitsu, boxing, kickboxing, wrestling, karate, kung fu, wushu, tai chi, kendo, capoeira, and taekwondo.
Buffy apparently thinks Hong Kong's kung fu movie masters could learn a thing or two.
No kidding. Thanks to her Slayer senses, her reflexes are fine-tuned enough to dodge close-range Gatling gun fire, lightning bolts from the sky, and even beams of light. She's kept up with another Slayer, Faith, who
Hail,
can dodge
Faith.
laser beams from point-blank range.
To put that in perspective, Faith and Angel, Buffy's one of Buffy's boyfriends at least, the one that she stuck with the most, usually could go toe to toe. Angel will tend to get on top. I didn't mean it like that, but because of the nature of how these shows go, and like they will literally just be throwing punches like hardcore right to the kisser. There is an instance where Buffy returns and like Faith was on the run or something, and she wanted to get hold of her, and Angel wants to defend Faith, and then they kind of get in a scuffle, he and Buffy, and he punches her, and his excuse for that was that she instigated it, and she's way stronger than him, so he needed to be, I guess, like, I don't know, like survival mechanic that's literally engaging him.
You hit me.
Not to go all schoolyard on you, but you hit me first.
And in case you've forgotten, you're a little bit stronger than I am.
So like Buffy is so much stronger than even like top tier vampires.
Buffy's strong enough to bend rebar, punch this 4.5-ton bat monster into the air, and smash hard enough to tear apart a building.
And despite her
yeah.
lack of armor,
Just
she can
that.
survive massive explosions, like the one that destroyed Cephrilion's lair that's bigger on the inside.
She can even fight blindfolded, but if she is injured, she heals fast enough to be totally fine by the next episode.
One time, Angel sucked out almost all of the blood from her body, and she survived. Doubly impressive since Angel's blood draining also drains magical energy.
Yeah, Buffy's own
Yep.
magic makes her weirdly resilient to esoteric attacks. Like,
Oh, wait a minute. What was that?
And she survived. Doubly impressive since Angel
Oh, that's the guy who was filled with unicorn blood. I remember that. That was in the headquarters of Angel Incorporated or Wolf Ramenheart. That was a weird arc. God damn, I feel old saying all of this.
Angel's blood draining also drains magical energy.
yeah, Buffy's own magic makes her weirdly resilient to esoteric attacks. Like when she expelled this misty shadow demon trying to possess her body, or when she resisted her soul being ripped apart and scattered across time.
Or that
Oh,
time
shit.
she jumped into a vat of boiling liquid so hot it could reduce people to skeletons, and she was just fine.
She might not show physical scars, but she sure has emotional ones.
Yes! The one way to beat Buffy is emotional damage that she cannot heal from.
Being the Slayer put a huge burden on Buffy's life.
Unable to live normally, she felt isolated, forced to internalize the trauma she faced on a daily basis. Sure, she had friends, but they couldn't understand her unique struggle.
Like when Angel turned evil after he took her virginity and tried to destroy the world.
Yeah, Angelus, to be more precise, is that part where Angel loses his soul and it gets all fucked. And it takes this very witch right here to reinstitute that in his body. This show was weird. Not gonna lie, it was weird, but I still enjoyed it.
That must be one of those metaphors.
Sometimes the worst enemies are the ones you can't fight and who don't fight back.
Made even worse by her having all the memories of the other Slayers bouncing around in her head, dating back to the Stone Age.
Buffy has dreamt of every battle a Slayer has ever fought, and
Yeah.
can call upon those skills in a fight, even subconsciously.
But this includes the memories of their
the
deaths.
trauma.
Countless women violently dying young. A reminder of her inevitable fate.
A fate that came to pass when she fought the Hell God Glory. After leaping
yeah.
into Glory's reality-ending interdimensional hole,
A glory hole, if you will.
Buffy sacrificed herself to save the universe, dying a hero's death.
It appears my glory hole joke was poorly timed.
Finally freed of her unfair earthly responsibilities, Buffy's soul ascended to heaven in perfect bliss. Until her friends brought her back to life in the agony of existence. This absolutely crushed Buffy and, ironically, annihilated her will to live.
Oh, that's rough, Buffy. But with the show renewed for more seasons, she had to nut up and continue her endless crusade against all things Spirit Halloween.
Buffy's battled for 48 hours straight, defeated vampires immune to traditional vampiric weaknesses, and destroyed the Sword of Sano, which caused
Okay. That's kind of cap. So the thing here with Spike is not that simple. The ring that he was wielding there made it so that he was no longer being affected by stakes and sunlight. That's literally a gift that she gave Angel later on in the season to make sure that it at least was going to fall in good hands. I mean, she did still kick Spike's ass, but when it came to Angel, that's another story.
and destroyed the Sword of Sano, which caused the Great Hanshin earthquake.
And of course, both Buffy and her friends have defeated countless immensely powerful demons.
Like the Queller Demon, which arrived as a meteor and caused the Tunguska explosion, which destroyed over 2,000 square kilometers of forest. Or the Sorrow Demon, which caused a storm that blanketed Los Angeles.
She's also a match for Angel, who survived a blast that could rupture a continental shelf and took hits from Whistler, whose magic contained a bomb that could vaporize London.
She even faced off against the first evil, literally the embodiment of all evil that predates reality itself.
Forced into battles against stronger and stronger baddies, Buffy clearly needed something to even the odds. The Slayer safe!
It's actually a bardiche.
Yeah, whatever. I'm just gonna say it. This thing is bullshit.
Containing the essence of Buffy's Slayer powers and created to defeat ancient demons, the scythe can deflect magical projectiles and slice through just about anything.
I call hacks.
Magic, even space itself, destabilizing reality in the process.
Even Silas, the devourer of worlds. Kinda like Galactus, but instead of chomping on planets, he eats the multiverse. And there goes his head.
The scythe is easily the most powerful tool in her arsenal.
In
effect,
fiction.
attaining it completed Buffy, as though it were a piece of her she never knew was missing. With the scythe, Buffy was finally whole. Being the Slayer was no longer a burden, but a purpose.
And by sharing her Slayer powers with thousands of girls around the world, they all teamed up and kicked the first evil's ass.
Suddenly, the always isolated Buffy had thousands of shoulders to lean on, a sisterhood of Slayers.
And thousands more reasons for any wannabe demon conqueror to stay away from Earth, because
And more girls to get into the fandom.
unless you want to get your blood all over her stylish yet affordable boots, you'll steer clear of Buffy, the Vampire Slayer.
Okay.
Hey, as you know, it's Skeletober.
You mean October.
No, stupid. Put the
That's www.deathbattle.gg.
Happy Skeletober.
So let's see who wins this one.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a live-action death battle!
That's wild. See the choreography here. What is that? Carbonated blood? The blood of Christ going to church, getting carbonated blood instead. Target acquired.
We were kings long before they had a name for kings. But now, starved, hunted, forgotten. You have waited long enough. Tonight, we remember who we were. Tonight, we take back what was always ours.
Ooh.
Tonight, we
Died in hell.
Daywalker.
And she was just the start.
Ooh, weak. That's a GJ for sure. He understood the assignment. You're gonna fight, but you know what? Ooh. Double kill. Ooh, the effects are so good. Ooh! Ooh! Yes! I didn't sign up for some WWE action, but... I've done my job. I was the DJ, the MVP in this entire thing. Oh, that's glorious. What'd you do that for?
Dude's just a kid!
Not anymore.
Oh shit. Oi. Of course. I know this guy. Isn't it the YouTuber who painted his entire apartment kind of weird? Or house? Like, what the fuck? I think that I recognize this set. That's all I'm saying.
You out your damn mind?
Oh! Move! In terms of physicality, this should be rather close. The pain only makes us stronger.
Amateur hour.
There's always some motherfucker trying to ice skate uphill.
Another sword!
I see you cut through adamantium.
Okay, mine cuts through dimensions. Damn, Blade was really him. Oh, okay, okay. Pretty badass.
Looks like you got ahead of yourself.
You know what? I can't be mad at that because that's literally the kind of thing that Buffy would say. so that's no accurate.
KO! To be Blade tenued no longer. I'm surprised. I figured with Blade's many years of comic book history, he'd have the edge.
Believe it or not, Buffy is actually in more comics than
yeah.
Blade.
Really? Man, Blade can't catch a break.
Let's break this down into 4 categories. First up, stats. Buffy's lifted much heavier things and survived more significant explosions.
Like, sure, Blade's strong and all, but he isn't literally fucking buildings apart like Buffy.
Scaling to the monsters they fought, compare Dracula creating a storm that covered Boston to the Sorrow Demon creating a storm that covered Los Angeles, a city over 5 times larger. You might be able to compare Blade to Spider-Man like Miles, who absorbed a bomb that could blow up Harlem, but that's significantly weaker than Whistler containing a blast that could wipe out London.
Yeah,
they could
that's
both dodge
underplaying
light
it.
beams, but that doesn't keep Buffy from taking the overall edge in stats.
Blade's used to being the odd man out, though, so his versatility is just as important.
With Blade's numerous powers and massive arsenal, he certainly could have overwhelmed the more straightforward Buffy.
Machine guns and magic swords are generally gonna beat out crossbows and morning stars. Not to mention, he actually wears armor.
Also, Blade's faster healing factor and immunity to traditional vampire weaknesses kept Buffy on the back foot for a time. Blade wins versatility.
But when it comes to skill, Buffy's got plenty of experience fighting armed opponents barehanded.
Both of
And the experience from all of the previous fighters ever since the Stone Age.
them were masters of a similar number of martial arts.
And Blade has been kicking vampire ass for a century, way longer than Buffy's even been alive.
While Blade may have more personal experience, Buffy's ability to draw on Slayer battles dating back to the Stone Age, at least 40 times older than Blade, gives her the superior skill. Even then, they both had weapons and abilities so powerful they could end the fight instantly, regardless of all else.
They're trump cards. Fortunately for Buffy, she actually countered almost all of what Blade could throw at her.
Withstanding Blade draining her energy with his bite? Check.
Resisting the Hellfire shotgun destroying her soul? Check.
Preventing Blade turning to mist and exploding her from the inside out? Check.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Blade had no way to survive, say, Buffy's Gorgon venom turning him to stone.
And even with the deadly, it just plain gross breathing gun, Blade did not have anything as potent as the Slayer sight. It could easily deflect the breathing gun's bullets back at him, or use its space-cutting ability to slice through his unbreakable adamantium sword.
Don't believe us? Even Wolverine's adamantium skeleton was cut in half when a portal closed on top of him. That's the same kind of thing.
And Wolverine's beta adamantium skeleton is a much tougher version of the same metal.
Oh, and since the Scythe could kill Silas, a multiverse-devouring god, I think it could take down Blade with a big enough swing.
Giving Buffy the final advantage over the Daywalker.
Really thought
That
Blade
was-
had a
that
chance,
was kind of
but
unfair.
Buffy sure put a damn fear on things.
The winner is Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Next time on Death Battle.
Oh. Versus Dante? What the fuck?
Subscribe and join as a member to see more Death Battle. Thanks for watching.
I've got one thing to say to this upcoming battle. Mid, where did you get back? No, seriously. This ought to be pretty good as a fight. I haven't seen Dante ever since the fight versus Bayonetta. This could turn out to be very interesting. Yeah, folks, thank you so much for checking out this one. I kind of saw this coming, but I didn't know which direction they were going to go with, especially given that this was live action. So I guess in terms of power output, there was kind of some limitation there, but I very much liked the choreography. It was great. But yeah, Buffy won. That was kind of something that I expected. But folks, thank you. If you like this reaction, don't forget to hit that like and also subscribe button. Of course, do the same here for Death Battle in the main channel, which link you will find in the description below. That being said, wish you all to have a wonderful day and see you guys in the next one. Bye.